Ready or Not is a tactical game about trying to take the suspects alive if possible, and if things go haywire, you still have a gun. Welcome to Ready or Not, where we will talk about the basics of the game if you haven't played anything like that before, and we will try to discuss how to play the game, what are the tactical stuff that you can use, and how to be efficient in Ready or Not. So this is the main menu screen the moment you purchase the game and you open it, and we're just gonna click play and single player because I am a single player, unfortunately. And the moment we run that, we are gonna spawn in this area where it's like the hub or the office or whatever you want to call it. The moment you spawn here, you have access to customization for everything, your own gear, your weapons, and your tactical gear that we're gonna talk about in depth. So to the right here, you're gonna find your locker where you can customize your stuff. But first, what stuff? What can we do in this game, or what are the objectives? If you move here to the front, you see a map of the currently available missions to play in Ready or Not. These maps or have different types of missions you can do in the same map. So if we take this For You gas station as an example, and we confirm the location, we see that we have different types of missions that we can play. Barricaded suspects, raid, active shooter, bomb threats, and hostage rescue. These all are different objectives and different ROE or rules of engagements. So, for example, the barricaded suspects, they are simply suspects that have taken some civilians as hostages, but they are relatively scared. So, if you play your cards right, you probably will be able to take them all alive. Just make them surrender their weapons. However, there will be like a few gunshots here. We will not talk about each of these. I'm gonna leave this actually for you to discover, because each one of these is like unique and it feels like it's a different type of game with the different rules of engagement and how the suspects react to your stuff in the game. But just a general idea, this is the map. Each one is like a different location, and each location has different types of objectives that you're gonna have to do there. So we go out of this main area and then we go to the locker. Now this locker here is gonna allow you to modify your layout for you and your AI teammates. So if you're playing single, just like me, you're gonna have 4 SWAT members or 4 AI teammates that will be a part of your mission that you can take with you to these missions that we were talking about here. Now we're gonna see this in action when we actually go to a test mission together, and so I can discuss the tacticality and how to order your team around, because this is like the core part of the game. But here you can modify the loadout. If I click F on that locker, so you see here we have 5 options: self, which is you, your own player. Then you have alpha, delta, Charlie, and delta. So what happens here is these two together, alpha and delta, the blue, are like a team together, so they are together in one team. And then you have red, which is another team. So your team or your SWAT squad is split into 2 parts: the blue part and the red part, and yourself, which is gold. We will see this in more action when we actually go into a mission and check how to give commands. But for now, you have options to choose a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, and something tactical. So your primary weapon you can choose from an assault rifle, a submachine gun, a shotgun, and a launcher. For me, I am always lethal, so I don't use that many non-lethal stuff, but there are options for non-lethal weapons if you want to go that route. Just play around here and you can discover the available weapons yourself. Now this is primary weapons and the secondary weapons, like it's your pistol and the primary weapon is your main weapon, obviously. But the secondary weapon can be also a lethal pistol, like the USP that I have here, or you can use something like a taser gun or something. There will be some non-lethal options here, like this taser gun, but for me, my USP is more than fine. Now the tactical option is something that will allow you to be more tactical. It will give you some kind of utility in the game. You see you have different options here. So you have a mirror gun, which allows you to peek under doors and see what's on the other side. However, I don't use this because I have my teammates actually using mirror guns. You can see here. So I don't look under doors myself. I order one of my teammates to do it. And you see that almost everyone has a mirror gun. In fact, I could change. So you see these two blue members both have mirror guns. That is unnecessary. I can probably remove the mirror gun from this guy and just make him use something else. But for now, I'll just leave it the way it is. You can see other options like breaching shotgun, ballistic shield, battering ram, which you can use to like breach doors if they are locked. The breaching shotgun is just a breaching shotgun. Basically, you shoot the lock if it's locked. You also have other options like lock picking. We're gonna discuss all of that when we actually get into the game. We have a battering ram, and then we have the M320 or the M320. This weapon is like a launcher that allows you to put different types of tactical nades in it. So it's like a flashbang launcher or a stinger launcher or a gas launcher. Now, we will discuss something about gas really soon here. But for me, I use the ballistic shield as a way of backup in case I get shot and I am like critically wounded. Then what I can do is just use my ballistic shield to be a little bit safer and try to survive the mission. Because sometimes things will go out of control in this game. It's just how it works. Then you see here you have different types of nades that you can choose. You have a flashbang, a CS, and a stinger. Now the CS gas, it's non-lethal. So when you gas a room, it will not kill the suspects that are in that room. But this gas will actually affect you if you are not having a tactical mask or like the gas mask. So if I go to gear here and headwear, you see I have a riot gas mask. If I don't have this equipped, if I had any other thing, then the gas will actually affect me, and its effects are pretty severe. You will not be able to enter that room or do anything as long as the gas is active. Since I have both of my teams using gases, I have everyone on gas masks basically. You can see all my teammates here have gas masks. Then we are gonna talk about the armor. Since there is no sprint in the game, so I always think it's just better to use the heavy armor. It's gonna make you stronger or like allow you to take more damage. But there's no sprint in the game, like we said, so there's no point of having light or no armor. It's just losing hit points, let's just call it. Then the nades, we were talking about the nades, the flashbang, the gas, and the stinger. These are all like pretty standard stuff. Then we have the tactical devices. Now I use the pepper spray because sometimes you can have civilians that will not cooperate and will refuse to like be compliant. So I use the pepper spray on them to force them to be compliant. So I just have this option, this singular option of non-lethal tactical option basically. So I can force, like I said, for civilians or even suspects if they are like if they are flashbang for example but refuse to give up their weapon, I can use the pepper spray on them that way to force them even further to drop their weapons. Then you have something like door wedges, which is gonna make a door be unable to be opened. You have C2 explosives, which are used to breach doors. Breaching doors with explosives will make anyone standing behind that door, it will probably kill them or just knock them down, which make them like a very easy target to capture or like to restrain basically. Then we have the lockpick gun, which makes you lockpick any closed doors pretty fast. But you have something called the multi-tool, and this multi-tool has a lockpick built into it, but it will be a bit slower than this lockpick gun. In case you care, you can just have one of your teammates carry that, but I don't because they all have the multi-tool, and I don't care how fast you unlock a door. Like I still believe the multi-tool is actually pretty fast, so I don't see why I would use a lockpick gun on it. But in case you have some strategy around lockpicking fast for whatever reason, you can use that. So this is a broad overview over the type of gear you can have for yourself and your teammates. Everything that I talked about for self is true for each one of these teammates, and you can customize them the way you want. Now we talked about the primary and secondary weapons. Now let's talk about how you can customize them. So let's say I chose a weapon here, which is the M4A1, and it's time to go and customize the weapon, add attachments and stuff. So let's go to the left here. If you go back to the room, the map room, we go down, and to the right here you will find a shooting range, which is going to be probably your best friend at the start of the game. So here you see your weapon is ready. You can aim with holding right click, and you can shoot with left click. Now you'll notice that my weapon is on single. It's not on full auto by default. If you click X, then you'll see at the bottom there that you have the different firing options for your weapon, and also you have safety. So if your weapon is on safe, by holding X you make your weapon safe, your weapon will not shoot even though you have ammo in your clip. So make sure to like safety check your weapon on actual missions. Now let's make it to full auto and let's shoot. This is going to be loud. Now the weapons have recoil. Imagine PUBG or maybe Tarkov if you've played those. Weapons have like, let's call it kinda realistic recoil. So when you're shooting, be careful to not like just spray down or spray and pray. This is not Apex Legends. So yeah, be careful of that. Also, one more thing you'll notice that I am pressing, if you can see my finger there on the trigger, or if you can hear my mouse, I'm shooting but there's nothing happening. That's because my clip has run dry, so I don't have bullets in my clip anymore. Notice that there's no HUD, or the game will not tell you this. You have to make sure, like yourself, that you have bullets and everything is going the way you want it to. And you do this by holding R, which is, or holding your reload button, and then that will make your guy inspect the clip. And you can see at the bottom there that you have 4 clips, and the one that I currently have is dry. It does not have bullets. So if I just click R instead of holding, I am going to reload my clip. Now notice this game, it does not use bullets as your ammo, it uses clips. So even if you reload half clip, like let me shoot a bit. Now I shot a few bullets. If I inspect the clip, you can see that the top portion of it is missing. However, if I click R and reload, your guy is gonna just replace the clip, and the one that you took out of the gun will still be on you as long as it's not empty. So if you notice, I started with 4 clips, but I dropped 1 because it is dry. There are no any more bullets in it. So that's why I fully dropped it. However, the clip that I just reloaded or replaced, it still had bullets in it. So your guy is not gonna drop it. You can see it there on the left that your middle clip is the one that is being actively used, but you still have a relatively full clip to the left of it. So to recap, you hold your reload button to inspect the clip and all the clips you have, and you just click once on your reload button to actually reload the clip. So if I reload, your guy's gonna keep this clip and he's gonna just use another one. And when you reload, your character will automatically equip the clip that has the most bullets in it. So if I shoot this clip and make it almost empty, and if I inspect now, you can see that it's almost empty, right? So if I reload now, he's gonna use the second clip, and you can see that he did not go back to the first clip because the second clip is full. I have not shot a single bullet from the second clip, so he automatically put the clip that has the most bullets in it. However, you still keep the clip, even though if it's near empty, you still keep it because it's not fully empty. So you come here, you can like pick up different weapons. You don't have to go back to the locker to get different weapons. You can just modify your loadout from here as well. You just talk to this nice guy over there and he will allow you to basically have the same menu you had on the locker at the top, and you can just choose different weapons from here. For example, I like the MPX a lot, so I already customized it, as you can see, so it has like attachments. So if I get it and then I can go back to the firing range, you also get new clips when you do this. So if I inspect, you see I have 4 clips. So I can just go in. This gun is really good. It has like very little recoil, but it uses like small caliber bullets, so it's not as effective as the M4. But like there are different options. Also, the game is relatively realistic, so one bullet in the head is gonna kill the enemy. So you don't really need like a more powerful weapon. It's just preference, like whatever you feel comfortable with. But I'm gonna go back and bring the M4 because I think I just like it more. So M4A1, resume, and then I get my M4 back. Now to talk about customizing the weapon itself and attachments. You go here around the corner and there's this nice guy over there. You just click F and you're gonna start customizing your weapon. Each weapon is gonna have different customization slots, and you can see that I have optics here. You can click on the optics and you will see different options for optics, whatever you want to use. You can try them all, like click on whatever you want, click resume game and go back to the shooting range to test it in action. But you can see we have muzzle, under barrels, over barrels, and ammunition. This is unique for my M4A1. So if I go back and bring the MPX as an example, let's talk to this nice guy. Let's go to submachine guns, the MPX. You will see it has different options for modification. So you see I don't have the ammunition here. I have the muzzle, the optics, the under barrel and over barrel, but I don't have the ammunition. So each gun is gonna be a little bit different depending on how customizable it is. Again, I'm gonna go back and bring my M4 because it's just what I like most at this point. M4, resume. So let's talk about the over barrel. So the over barrel is gonna be either a flashlight, a laser pointer, or an IR laser. So an IR laser can only be seen if you have night vision equipped. If you don't, then you will not see it. Now the laser in this game is actually pretty accurate, so that means you will not need to ADS, or basically aim down your scope, if you have a laser pointer equipped. As an example, if I bring out my USB here, you can see that it has a laser pointer, and this laser pointer is very accurate. I don't know if you can see it there. I think it's a little bit, oh, I think it shows you. So you can see the bullet goes exactly where the laser is pointing. This is useful because if you're using something like me, like the ballistic shield, and you try to aim out of the shield, you will not be ADSing, like you don't have any indicator of where you're aiming, and that's why I use a laser pointer on my USB there. So this is the only indication I have of where I'm aiming my gun, because I cannot like ADS normally if I have a ballistic shield equipped. Now the thing or the attachment I have on my M4 is a flashlight, and this is very important because you will see a lot of dark areas in the game when we go to an actual mission. I think this will make it for the simple gun mechanics and gun attachments and gun customization in general. So the very important thing I think to remember is how the clip works, how reloading, and that you rely on clips instead of bullets, and to constantly like sanity check your clip and also sanity check your safety, because you don't want your gun unsafe when there is a suspect shooting at you. Alright, since we talked about a lot here, let's just go up and start working on the missions. So let's go and try to load in the easiest mission, deploy, and let's talk about how the game works itself. I'm gonna go to this For You gas station. I think it has one of the easiest missions, the barricaded suspects. I'm going to accept mission. You'll see at the bottom there it's saying waiting to deploy. So if I just walk up to it, I will start deploying. So this is you basically starting the mission, or if you're playing with friends, you can all go to this area to just mark yourself as ready to be deployed. And you can see on the bottom right here, the mission commences in 7 seconds. So this is you and your team. Like I said, you deploy with 4 other AIs if you're playing single.
Copy. Coming to you.
Talk to Element. Suspects have a foothold in this area and they're refusing to cooperate. Entry team, you are cleared to proceed with the mission.
Alright, so basically the suspects here, they were doing negotiating with the police, but now the negotiations are broken down and it's time for SWAT to, you know, do their thing. So the very first things we want to do is always Clip check, of course. I mean, we started the mission, so we obviously have full 4 clips, but you know, just sanity checks. Also, you want to make sure your weapon is not unsafe and you are ready to shoot in case things go haywire. I believe if you play your cards right and you do things the way they're meant to be done, wait. I think this is a suspect over there. But we're gonna leave him. Oh my god. Alright, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna leave him. We are not even here. They are just having their walk, I guess. And we're just gonna talk about the game, how you're meant to play it. So we did our sanity checks, our clip is ready, our gun is not on safe, we are full auto, which I don't like. I always keep my guns on single because I believe that all you need is 1 bullet. And now we're gonna talk about your teammates and how things work, how to give them orders. Okay, let's go to the bottom right here, and you see we have 2 groups, the blue team and the red team. You have King and Swan as the blue team, and then you have Prescott and Eli as the red team. And then you have Judge, which is yourself. You are Judge. And you see, you can, if you use scroll wheel, the color of the command changes. And also the command changes depending on what you're aiming at. So for starter, if you look at the door, and I have blue team selected, and I click the middle mouse button, I'm gonna have the command menu open up. So you have 4 types of commands that you can issue at a door, and these types actually have submenus. So for example, the stack up option, if I click 1 to get in the stack up menu, and then you will have the submenu, which are the actual commands that you can issue. For example, if I choose 1 again, stack up, I'm gonna order my blue team to go and stack up on the door. Stacking up means they will be like holding positions near the door, and they will also check the lock if the door is locked or not. They will not try to open the door, they are just checking if the door is locked or not. So if I issue this command right now,
cover this area.
Alright, roger that.
you will see that they are moving in like a very good fashion. I like how teammates move in this game. Notice that this game is early access, so you might find some quirks about how the game behaves. Sometimes the suspects behave in a weird way. Sometimes you get clipped with teammates in small alleys or corridors. But this is an early access game, and I believe for an early access they are doing a fantastic job. So anyway, you see that they are both stacking up on the door, and the door is open. So what I can do is I can order them to mirror under the door by clicking on middle mouse button to open the command menu, go into the stack up menu, and then mirror under door. So if I choose this option,
Mirror for suspects.
Roger that, sir.
you will see one of them is going in and using the mirror gun under the door, and he's gonna give us info about what's in the room.
Looks pretty safe to me. Clean house.
Okay, so what he did there is 2 things. He gave us 2 pieces of info. One, that it was pretty safe. He's talking about if there is a trap behind the door, if the door is tripwired or something. So suspects can put traps behind doors. The moment you try to open them without cleaning the trap, you can have a nade explode, you can have like a flashbang explode, and you don't want that, trust me. Okay. Okay, so the suspect that was taking a walk there, I probably should do this actually.
Move to my front. On my way.
Okay, that was unexpected, but we're gonna talk about what happened. So the suspect here that was taking a walk at the beginning, they came back basically, and my teammates here, they yelled at him to drop his gun. He did not comply, so we used authorized use of force because the suspect has a gun. And if they do not comply, we are at liberty of shooting them. And this is what they did. So they asked him to drop his gun, he did not, and we killed him. So what I did here is I ordered my red team to move up and just cover this position. You see that they are actually standing in a pretty great fashion. I love how they do that. So one is covering the front and one is covering the back. And you will occasionally see that this is how they move up. Even when you have them fall in or like following you, you will see that probably 3 of them will be looking in your direction and one will be looking the back. So I like really love how they do that. I'm gonna order my team to move forward to this right alley. That way I don't have any more surprises. Now you see how they're moving? I actually love the way they do this. So about the dead suspect here, every action you take in the mission itself, you can report to your superiors.
Be advised, I have civilian contact.
Okay, so let's just ignore that for a bit. So here's a dead suspect here, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click F.
Suspect DOA.
And you see I got +5.
This is talk. Roger that, entry team. Tag him and keep moving.
You see a +5 over there. These are scores that you take based on how well you did in your objective. If you finish all of your objectives with no officers injured and you reported every piece of evidence and every situation, then you get the full points. And everything that you don't do, you lose points for that. So your rating decreases. You see here, I reported a dead suspect and there is a gun. What I can do is the gun is actually secure it as evidence. So if I hold F on the gun, it's gonna put it in an evidence bag and just drop it down, which isn't ideal. I would prefer if they took it with them, but it's just how it works, I think. I'm not sure how it is in real life, but I think it's like pretty unsafe to have a gun there, even if it's an evidence bag. But regardless. So I ordered my red team to cover up the right alley here, so we don't have any surprises coming from there. And now my blue team is still stacking up on the door. Note that your teammates will do whatever you tell them and they will not do anything else. So you order these guys to stack up. I could walk with the red team and actually like go finish the mission with just the red team, and these guys will still be standing here. And they just follow orders, man. They are here to follow your orders. Nothing more, nothing less. Whatever you tell them to do, they will do, no questions asked. This is what I love about the game, actually. So it's up to you to bring your team back alive and how efficient you want to be in doing your missions. And I love this concept about the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually order him to mirror under the door again in case there are some suspects that relocated to the front here after they heard the gunshots. So I'm going to order him to mirror under the door again. We know that there are no traps, but he's going to tell us anyway. You can see on the bottom right here that the action currently is mirroring under door.
I don't see any traps.
And he says under it, no trap visible.
Nobody in sight.
And no targets visible. So this is how you can keep track of what just happened. It stays there for a few seconds. I would love it if it stayed like indefinitely. So just like the last action that this person did was just check under the door and there were no traps and no targets. But it is just how it is in currently. It just shows up for a few seconds. So since there's nothing behind the door, according to these guys, let's just open the door and clear it. So you have options here. You can clear with a flashbang, and clear with CS gas. So I have one teammate carrying flashbangs and another teammate carrying CS gas. Since we're all equipped with gas masks, I am not worried about the effects of gas. So since there's no one here, I am just going to clear the room. So I'm just gonna hit clear.
Open and clear.
Now look what they're gonna
Copy
do.
that.
They stack up, they get ready, one opens the door, and they start moving up to clear. You see they are taking different portions of the room, which I like. This is actually a pretty big room. Let's check here.
Light stick out.
Alright, they deployed a chem light. This indicates that we cleared this room. We have been here before. You can do the same by clicking C. If you look to the left, next to my armor guy, and you see I have G, which is throwing a nade. I have C, which is the chem light, which is this little fluorescent thing that he threw. And I have a TMP2, which is like thumb mouth button 2, which I use to toggle in my flash. If you had a laser, you're gonna click the same thing to toggle your laser on or off. You can drop chem light by using C. You only have 10 of them, but 10 I think is more than enough. I'm just gonna click C to show you how it works. You just yeet down a chem light, and it actually illuminates the area a little bit, but you cannot rely on it that often. So that's why I use a flashlight. Well, so we cleared this room. There seems to be nothing out of the ordinary here, so I'm gonna order my team to stack up on this door. So there you go, stack up on the door, and essentially this is what you want to do. So you see we have
Contact.
we have another door here. I will be covering this door. I will just be standing on it. This way, if there are suspects or any bad guys on the other side or in the room, they cannot open the door without me knowing about it. So I like to fill in the gap of my team, basically. So I ordered them to stack up on this door. However, this door is still a vulnerability, right? So I am covering it. And I'm also using my back to block the door, and I'm looking this way in case some suspects come out this way. Now, one more awesome feature that we're gonna talk about here is the cam. You can actually go to each one of your teammates' helmet cam, and you can toggle them by clicking T to open the cam, and clicking T again will basically toggle between all your active teammates. If you're playing with someone like a real person, a friend, you can still do the same. So you can keep checking each other's POV in real time, which is actually amazing. I love it. So what we're gonna do, these red guys, they are currently doing nothing but just standing. So I'm gonna order them to fall in by just clicking Z. You see the default option. If you're not aiming at anything in particular, the default option is for them to fall in. However, if I aim at the door, you see the default option is to stack up. This is just a faster way of issuing a default command instead of just having to middle mouse button 1 for stack up. So that's what I'm gonna order them to do. I want them to stack up on the door.
Provide cover.
Roger that.
We're gonna wait for them to come, and then we will talk about one of the features that I love about this game, which is queuing commands. We'll just wait for them to take their sweet time here. They're walking all tactical and stuff. In the meantime, I will just move up and try to clear or hold this area. Anytime now. They're taking their sweet time. Anytime now. And there they are. You can see I could tell by the cam.
Unlocked, sir.
Okay, so when I ordered him to stack up, they automatically checked on the door, right? So here's what we're gonna do. First, I'm gonna hold T to close the cam because I don't need it. Everyone is here, so I don't need to be watching anyone's POV. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna order my blue team to mirror under this door, and I'm gonna order my red team to order under this door. To mirror under this door. Let's wait for the feedback. I'm gonna be watching this.
No traps visible.
No need
No
to worry.
contacts.
There
It's
aren't any
clear.
traps here.
Alright, so
Nobody inside.
okay, so they both reported the same thing. No traps and no contacts. So you see the red team, since they are stacked up on this door, they cannot stack up on this door because the blue team has this door. So this is one way of telling which team is doing what. So you see here, my blue team is stacking up on this door, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click 2, hold shift and click 1.
This area.
So you can see that I queued an order to open and clear, meaning they have this order, but they will not execute it yet. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. So open, hold shift and clear. So what I did here is I queued 2 commands. I want both teams to open and clear their doors when I ordered them to. How do I do this? I can go to my gold, which means give the same order to both teams at the same time, and then execute. Now you'll see that they both started executing at the same time. And this is fucking amazing. In this case,
Get down and put your hands up.
okay, so we have contact on the team, on the other team.
Like stick away.
You see that we actually just have a lot of targets here that actually complied. Now in this game,
Hands up.
so you see this guy is not complying over there, right?
Hands up. Do it now.
You can keep yelling at him by holding F. You just aim at him and click F
Please, hands up.
in order to order him to comply. If he does not comply and he had a gun, you are authorized to shoot him. If he doesn't have a gun, you can use a non-lethal method of
Hands up. Do it now.
So you see this guy is running, but he doesn't have a gun. So I am unauthorized to shoot him. He is not a threat. And you see this guy, even after he complied, he can just stand back up and he can just do his own thing. So compliance is actually like, as soon as someone complied, doesn't mean they will stay compliant. And this is what I love about this game. It's just pretty good. Also, your target acquisition in this game, or your threat analysis basically, is very important. If I shot the civilian there, I'm gonna lose like a lot of points, and you don't want that. You don't want to shoot civilians. So what we're gonna do here, since this is the blue team, I will order them to restrain this target. How did I know it was the blue team? I just remember who broke into what room. So
It's a part of the job, man.
Get out of here.
when you order your teammate to
This is talk.
to
Copy,
restrain,
entry team notifying trailers.
when you order your teammate to restrain a civilian or do a specific task, they will report it automatically, which is why I love ordering my teammates to do things. However, if I restrain this guy myself
Calm down.
by holding F behind him, so I have to go behind his back and hold him, and he has to be on his knees on the ground in order to restrain him. You see that after I restrain him, I still need to report that I arrested someone.
Civilian cuffed and ready for trailers.
Talk to entry team.
Perfect.
Roger that.
Let's check on
Trailers
red team.
en route.
So red team, I do not see that they have any contact on them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order them to fall
Provide
in.
support on me.
Copy. Coming to you.
And they will just find a way, they'll go out the room and they were gonna come up from here. Perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order my teammates to move forward,
to my
the red
front.
team, and me and the blue team, we're just gonna chill here and just hold for them to move up. So we restrained 2 targets here. We had a suspect that was killed in the beginning, and we'll just keep moving forward. I'm gonna actually order, oh, you see here,
Down on your knees.
I can ask for compliance again. I am moving up so badly right here, like I'm not checking corners, and this is,
Drop your hands up. Do it
oh
now.
my god, that's a lot of civilians in there.
Hands up. Drop your knees. Fall in.
So these are a lot of civilians actually. I need to be a little bit
Provide
tactical
cover.
here.
Roger. On it
Move
now.
over there. Moving up. We've got this under control.
So I'm gonna start restraining them, even though I should let my team do it, but I will just have my team watch
Stand
for
by trailers.
Talk to high
threats.
ground. Copy that. Trailers incoming.
Go home.
So each one you restrain,
Good to go for evac.
you're gonna report because you are restraining them manually. However, if you make your teammate do it,
Civilian good to go
so
for restraint.
I'm gonna order blue team to restrain this guy.
Hands up.
Great work.
Now your teammates will request compliance immediately whenever they see a suspect or a civilian.
Talk to high ground. Roger that. Trailers en
Civilian
route.
standing by for trailers.
Alright, so I'm gonna have my red team stack up on this
Trailers
door.
inbound.
So now we have both doors covered. You see, this is like, oh my god, I almost shot this guy like 3 times in the head. But just like target acquisition in this game and identifying threats is actually very important, and sometimes kind of hard if you're new to these type of games. But I used to play SWAT 4, so I like have the basic instinction built in. But for you, if you're like used to other just shoot and forget games, it might be kind of hard, which is one more reason why I fucking love this game. But in here, I think we discussed the basics of how to play this game. So we discussed gun customization, we discussed maps, we discussed lethal and non-lethal options, and in the game itself we discussed orders, how you can split orders and queue orders between teammates, how to restrain and report every single thing you find. If you hold tab, you'll see the objective for this mission. So my first mission here is to bring order to the chaos, and my second mission is to rescue all the civilians. Each type of objective, if you remember in the map room, it will be different. So you will have the option to bring suspects down if they are like in a raid or something. You might have bomb defusal if the suspect planted a bomb, and then you have a specific time in order to get that bomb diffused before it explodes. And each objective is going to have different missions, and you will be using the same tactics that you have in order to do your objective. Basically, let's just review one more thing, which is breaching, which is one of my favorite. So what you can do is kick the door and then flashbang.
Bang the room. All right, copy that.
And I love just how the way the judge expresses the
Ready to knock something.
and you see.
Flashbang.
Okay. I look away so the flash doesn't affect me actually. You can have an anti-flash goggles. I mean, this room, this is where we came in, of course, but I just wanted to demonstrate how things work. You can also do something which is CS gassing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order red team to shotgun and just CS gas.
Shotgun.
I mean,
CS and clear.
technically I should just mirror the rooms first since I already have mirror guns, but I'm just demonstrating the different things you can do. So shotgun, gas, of course it's the same like outside room that we came from. Also note the gas takes a little bit while to deploy, so you can just follow your teammates whenever they move into the room. Now note the gas does not affect me because all of us are having gas masks. However, if I didn't, I would be coughing and looking in
I'd stick away.
the ceiling and crying and doing weird stuff because this is how gas works.
Get down. I want to see hands.
So you see this guy here, we asked for compliance and he doesn't want any trouble, so he listened. So what we can do
Make
is
it
just
secure.
order to restrain him. I'm just opening doors randomly at this point, trying to get someone to shoot at me so I can show you how suppressed you get when you get shot at. But no one wants to shoot at me for some reason.
Get on the ground now.
Everything will be fine.
This is Talk. Copy entry
So
team.
about the door, you can
Notifying
do
trailers.
multiple things with the door. You can peek a door. This door is locked, so let me equip my multi-tool. You just click F in order to execute the default command. So I picked up the lockpick and now I lockpick the door. What I can do is I can peek the door, just open it slightly. This allows you to take a peek in the room and see if there are any tripwires behind the door, so you know if it's tripped or not. So let me close the door, and there are two other things you can do. You can kick the door, which is like breaching, and if you had something like the mirror gun, then you would have an option to peek under the door here with the mirror. I am paranoid about my back, so I'm gonna order my red team to cover me. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna kick the door just to demonstrate. You need to use 2 kicks on a door in order for it to open, which is I love. Now note that when you kick the what the fuck, he just spawned out of nowhere. So I requested this guy to drop his weapon. He did not comply, so I had to shoot him. Not smart guys. Next time probably he should have complied. He should comply.
Suspect killed.
So yeah, we're gonna report the
Talk
suspect.
to element. Roger that, entry team. Tag him
And we marked him, or we reported him, and we secured the evidence, so that way I got the full points out of this interaction. So I killed the suspect, I reported him, and I secured his weapon. Note that there are some guys that might have more than one weapon. They could have like a main weapon and a pistol. They could have a knife even. So make sure to secure all the weapons out of the
Hands
guy.
up. Do it now.
Now I can go through this door. It's not part of the map, I think. But yeah, this is how to play Ready or Not. Thank you for watching. I hope the video was actually informative. I tried to cover as much as I could in the game, but I give you the basics that you can just build on and learn the game on your own, because I think this is how you're gonna have the most fun in this game. So thank you for watching. Probably will see you in another video.